The air was thick with anticipation. Cameras flashed endlessly, red carpets gleamed, and fans screamed in unison. But no one expected that one small, fragile piece of jewelry would end up being the center of attention that night. For Tan Songyun, the actress known for her radiant smile and unstoppable energy, a simple necklace breaking apart in front of thousands would reveal more than just a fashion mishap. It would unravel a hidden story of pain, endurance, and resilience she had carried silently for years. The night began like any other glamorous award ceremony. Tan Songyun arrived in a gown that shimmered under the spotlights, her delicate pearl necklace sitting gracefully against her collarbone. To everyone watching, she looked perfect, poised, untouchable. But what the cameras couldn't see was the storm beneath her calm exterior. She had spent the week battling sleepless nights, a heavy filming schedule, and whispers from critics who claimed she was too soft for the industry's ruthless demands. As she took her seat among other stars, something unexpected happened. When the host announced her name for a special recognition award, she stood gracefully, her smile wide. But as she rose, the fragile clasp of her necklace snapped. The pearls scattered across the stage, rolling in all directions like tiny fallen stars. Gasps echoed across the hall. For a moment, time froze. The world saw an accessory break. But for Tan Songyun, it was more than that. That necklace had been a gift from her late mother, a talisman she wore during every major career milestone. Losing it in front of so many eyes felt like her private grief had been laid bare to the world. And as the pearls rolled across the polished floor, it was as if her carefully guarded struggles had been exposed in an instant. Instead of panicking, however, Tan Songyun did something that left everyone breathless. She bent down, gathered a few of the pearls with trembling hands, and clutched them close to her chest. When she finally stood up, her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. She smiled, a smile not of perfection, but of raw humanity. And that was when the audience realized, this wasn't just an accident. This was a silent confession of everything she had been enduring. Backstage whispers immediately began. "Did you see her face?" one stylist muttered. She looked like she was about to cry, but she held it back. Fans flooded social media with theories. That necklace wasn't just jewelry, it meant something deeper. Others pointed out how unusual it was to see Tan Songyun, usually so composed, look so vulnerable. What no one knew then was the truth behind that necklace. Years ago, before her career soared, her mother had given it to her with the words, "This will remind you that no matter how heavy life feels, you carry love with you." Since her mother's passing, the necklace became her anchor. Every audition, every red carpet, every emotionally draining drama shoot, she wore it. To lose it publicly wasn't just embarrassing, it was like losing her shield. That night, reporters tried to capture her reaction. One bold journalist even asked, "Was the necklace expensive?" Tan Songyun paused, her smile faltering for the briefest second. "It was priceless," she whispered, her voice almost breaking. The room went silent. She didn't elaborate further, but the weight of her words carried 1,000 untold stories. What followed after that night was even more powerful. Fans began digging through old interviews, finding tiny hints where she had spoken about her late mother, about the loneliness of the industry, about how she sometimes wished people could see her beyond the perfect image. Suddenly, the broken necklace became a metaphor, a symbol of everything she had hidden under her glowing career. The drama didn't end there. A week later, during another public appearance, she walked on stage without any jewelry. No earrings, no necklace, no accessories. Just herself. The message was clear. She no longer needed material pieces to prove her strength. She was ready to show the world her raw self, flaws, struggles, and all. That bold choice sparked endless conversations online. "She's bearing her soul without saying a word," one fan commented. The broken necklace wasn't a loss, it was her rebirth. But behind that powerful moment were battles no one saw. Close friends revealed later that Tan Songyun had been pushing through one of the hardest years of her life. Balancing the grief of losing her mother with the pressures of fame had left scars she rarely shared. She had endured endless criticisms, claims that she wasn't edgy enough for leading roles, or that her cheerful personality made her unfit for more serious dramas. The truth was, she carried those criticisms heavily, often questioning whether she belonged in such a harsh industry at all. And yet, the very moment her necklace broke, something inside her shifted. It was almost as if the universe forced her to let go of the burden she had been carrying alone. She could no longer hide behind the glossy perfection the industry demanded. The cracks were visible, and in those cracks, her true strength shone through. Her fans rallied behind her like never before. They flooded social media with messages of encouragement, trending hashtags like #SONGYUN Stay Strong and #Broken But Beautiful. Artists and fellow actors also spoke up, praising her for her grace in a moment that would have left many others flustered or embarrassed. One actor even said, "It wasn't the necklace breaking that shocked me. It was the way she held the pearls close. It felt like she was holding her soul in her hands." The symbolism of that moment stretched beyond entertainment headlines. Newspapers and magazines began writing think pieces about how celebrities are often trapped behind flawless images while silently enduring struggles. Tan Songyun became a face of resilience, her story inspiring countless fans who were also carrying silent battles of their own. In the weeks that followed, she chose to open up more. During an interview, she finally spoke about her mother in detail, her voice trembling but steady. "That necklace was hers. Losing it reminded me that I can lose anything in this world. But it also reminded me that love doesn't break. Even if pearls fall apart, the bond remains." It was a moment of truth that left the interviewer speechless, and fans in tears. They weren't just following an actress anymore, they were witnessing a woman finding her voice after years of silence. Her next drama carried a rawness that critics couldn't ignore. She poured her pain and resilience into her performance, and audiences felt it. Every tear on screen, every emotional scene, it all seemed more real. People began calling her roles unfiltered and hauntingly authentic. Some even credited the broken necklace incident as the turning point that elevated her artistry. Months later, at another award ceremony, something extraordinary happened. As she accepted a trophy for Best Actress, she walked up in a simple, elegant dress again without jewelry. But this time, she carried something in her hand. A single pearl from the broken necklace, polished and preserved in a small glass locket. She raised it gently for the cameras and said, "We all break at some point. But every broken piece can still shine if we choose to carry it with love." The audience erupted in applause. Tears streamed down the faces of fans. And in that one sentence, Tan Songyun sealed the legacy of the broken necklace not as a story of loss, but of rebirth. Today, people still talk about that night. Not because a piece of jewelry snapped, but because it revealed the raw humanity behind a star who seemed untouchable. The broken necklace became more than an accident, it became a symbol of Tan Songyun's hidden struggles, her strength, and the reminder that even the most delicate souls can withstand the harshest storms. And as fans continue to hold on to that image of pearls scattering under bright lights, they know it was never really about the necklace. It was about a woman finding the courage to be seen not as flawless, but as real. The sound of pearls hitting the glossy stage floor still echoes in the memories of everyone who was present that night. It wasn't just the sharp, tiny clatter of jewelry, it was like glass shattering, a sound that ripped through the hall and pierced the silence of the glittering ceremony. Tan Songyun froze for the briefest of seconds. In that heartbeat of stillness, her mask nearly slipped. Her eyes darted downward as pearls rolled chaotically in every direction, each one a fragment of the necklace that had been her silent armor for years. The cameras zoomed in, capturing every flicker of her expression. The audience gasped collectively, unsure whether to laugh at the awkwardness, pity her, or applaud her composure. And then, something unexpected happened. Instead of retreating into panic, Tan Songyun lowered herself onto the stage floor. The world-famous actress, dressed in a gown worth more than most people's yearly salaries, knelt down with trembling hands and began gathering the scattered pearls. One by one. Slowly. Tenderly. It was a sight no one could have imagined. The glamorous star crouched down, her delicate fingers chasing after runaway pearls that glimmered under the harsh stage lights. The hall, once filled with chatter and flashes, had gone eerily quiet. All eyes were locked on her. A single pearl rolled farther than the others, escaping into the corner of the stage. She stretched her arm, almost desperately, to catch it before it could fall off completely. The crowd leaned forward in suspense. And when she finally clasped it in her palm, She pressed it tightly against her chest. The cameras caught the look on her face, eyes shimmering, lips quivering as if holding back words unspoken. That single pearl seemed to represent everything she had lost, everything she had fought to keep intact. And though she smiled, it wasn't the radiant, practiced smile her fans knew. It was fragile. Human. A smile that trembled under the weight of sorrow. Social media erupted instantly. Clips of her kneeling on stage flooded online platforms. Fans dissected every second. She looked like she was gathering pieces of herself, not just pearls, one user wrote. Another commented, "That moment hurt to watch, but it was beautiful. You could feel her pain." What most people didn't realize was that this necklace had been more than an accessory. That night, when it broke, her grief broke open with it. Every pearl that scattered was a fragment of her memories, her unspoken struggles, her silent battles in the cutthroat world of fame. Backstage, whispers swirled among staff and stylists. Some worried she would collapse under the pressure. Others couldn't stop talking about the strange electricity that filled the room during that accident. "It wasn't just a necklace," one staff member murmured. "It felt like watching someone's soul crack open." And yet, in the middle of that vulnerability, Tan Songyun displayed strength no one expected. She didn't run off the stage. She didn't let tears fall publicly. She stood tall, clutching the few pearls she had managed to save, and walked forward to accept her award. When the microphone was placed in her hands, the room held its breath. Would she acknowledge the accident? Would she laugh it off? Or would she let her emotions pour out? Her voice, soft but steady, cut through the silence. "Sometimes," she said, pausing as her gaze dropped briefly to the pearls in her hand, "life doesn't stay together the way we hope it will." She inhaled sharply, her composure hanging by a thread. "But even when things fall apart, we can still carry the pieces with us." The crowd erupted in thunderous applause. Many didn't fully understand the depth of her words, but they felt it. It was raw, unscripted, and piercingly real. For the first time in her career, she wasn't just an actress on stage, she was a human being stripped bare before the world. What the cameras didn't catch was the moment right after she left the stage. Back in the dressing room, away from the blinding lights, Tan Songyun sat in silence, her gown pooling around her, the broken clasp of the necklace resting in her lap. Her hands shook as she examined the few pearls she had managed to gather. She didn't cry, not yet. Instead, she whispered softly, almost like a prayer, "Mama, I'm still holding on." Her assistant, who had been with her for years, later admitted that she had never seen Tan Songyun so vulnerable. "It wasn't the necklace that broke her," she said quietly. "It was what it represented. It was everything she had been hiding finally spilling into the open." The symbolism of the broken necklace spread like wildfire. Entertainment blogs described it as the most hauntingly poetic moment of the night. Fans created art and tributes, sketching pearls falling like stars, with captions like "Even broken pieces shine." Psychologists even weighed in, analyzing how a small accident revealed the suppressed grief of a woman who had been holding it all together for too long. One fan's post went viral. "When her necklace broke, it was like the universe gave us a glimpse into her soul. She didn't lose jewelry. She lost her mask. And we finally saw her truth." That moment redefined how people saw Tan Songyun. She was no longer just the smiling actress with endless charm. She became a symbol of resilience, of carrying pain gracefully in a world that demands perfection. The broken necklace wasn't her downfall, it was her revelation. And perhaps that's why the memory of pearls scattering across the stage has stayed with everyone. Because it wasn't just about what broke. It was about how she picked up the pieces, held them close, and chose to keep moving forward. The broken necklace became her story. A story of loss, love, strength, and the courage to let the world see her not flawless, not invincible, but real. Don't forget, if this story moved you, make sure to like, share, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more dramatic and emotional stories that uncover the truth behind the stars.